Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com. Coming back to you with another video. I'm over here at the casino, Mohegan Sun. We're actually celebrating my mother, aka Mama Profit's birthday, which is going to be going down on November 20th, but we're here a week early. It's a kind of a crazy day today. If you take a look outside, it is really rainy. It was actually very dangerous driving here, but I wanted to talk about something because I made a video the other day. As you can see, it was called Not in the Mood to Resell. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. But I essentially, in a nutshell, was talking about how, especially if you're trying to be a full-time reseller, you've got to get past those feelings of not feeling like working. You can't let your feelings dictate if you take action on a consistent, regular basis. And a comment came in that was sharing, and no disrespect to Christy, this came in about 6 hours ago, and she said, I want to disrespectfully disagree, or maybe respectfully disagree, but anyways, it's a pretty good comment, but Christy, she didn't agree with the things that I had to say, and I think because some of it got misconstrued. So I want to make a video about that because this is a really interesting topic, and I'm glad you brought this up, Christy, because there's a big difference between not feeling like working and not working consistently versus knowing when you have to take a day off, when you want to not do anything. Maybe you don't feel like listening, you don't list because, you're your own boss. And that's one of the benefits of owning your own eBay, Amazon business is you do get that freedom. But I do want to be very clear when I say this, especially when you're new. It takes a lot of work to get this business off the ground. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of sourcing. There's a lot of late night listing. There's a lot of systems and processes you have to put in place. And to be brutally honest, most people, if you're going to be taking days off all the time and not pushing forward when you don't feel like it, you're going to have a tough time building this business. So let me just get into the comment right now. And again, you could check out this video and see that comment, but let me read it. So Christy says from 6 hours ago, I want to disrespectfully disagree. I think she meant respectfully, but hopefully she's not being disrespectful. Oh, and by the way, I want to let you know, I might have consumed a couple drinks already today, so bear with me. I am a lightweight, so you're going to see a different side of me possibly. All right, moving forward. As long as it doesn't happen too often, it is good to give yourself a day off. We are self-employed business owners. We don't work 40-hour, 9-to-5 work week. Sometime I will look back and realize I've been running hard and pushing myself for weeks. Everyone needs a day off eventually. And I 100% agree with you, Christy. I wasn't trying to put forth in that video saying you should never take a day off. There's times where I don't do much all week. I mean, there's been periods of time over the last 7 or 8 years when I look back over the month and I'm like, what the heck did I do? But you got to understand, I had put in the work to build my business. I had put in the work to learn about all the different niches. I had put in the work to, get 300, 400, 500 listings up. I had put in the work to learn how to, earn income from different sources, whether it was from YouTube or for Amazon, or I was doing deals on Craigslist, flipping bicycles. So I put in that work. Now, I'm not saying when you're first getting started and you're new that first year that you can never take a day off. But when you're starting something, at first you have to grind a lot harder because there's people like me, there's people like the folks you're watching on YouTube who have been doing this for years. They have the knowledge, they have the expertise, they have the systems and processes in place. And if you want to take food off their plate, you better be willing to outwork them or just put in a good amount of effort up first. So I do want to put that out there. I don't think that everybody should just work themselves into a grave because honestly, at the end of the day, you can't take the money with you and life is short and you don't know how long you're going to be here. I mean, I'm here right now. I could be gone the next day in a car accident. You just don't know what could happen. So Christy, I completely agree with you in a sense of it's okay to give yourself a day off. But when you're first starting, like I said, you really have to grind. You really have to work hard to catch up to your competition. So let's keep reading this. Everyone needs a day off eventually. I agree. Personally, I have medical issues that force me to at least have some downtime. And that's great to know your body. I mean, if you need to take a rest, if you need to take a break, if there's only certain limitations that each one of us, based on our age and our health, there's just limitations on our body that our physical body is going to hold to us. So you got to know when to take a break. So that's fine. I might be looking up items on eBay, watching YouTube videos, or reading books on antiques, but physically, there are days I just can't. And that's great. And that's great that you're able to understand that there's a value in watching videos. There's a value in reading books. You're educating, you're investing yourself, you're building up this potential power that is going to help you to make money down the road by learning how to source better, list better, ship items better. There's so much that we could learn. So that's fine, and I'm glad I'm able to make this video because it's so easy to get, videos misconstrued where people think, oh, well, I'm saying if you don't feel like it, then you should never take a day off. But there's context to every little piece of content that I put out. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. Mentally, we all need some downtime. I agree. If you have the foresight or compartmentalization skills to only work 5 days a week, then sure, make yourself work those 5 days to the best of your ability. However, for most of us, reselling is a lifestyle. No matter where we are or what we are doing, reselling is never far from our minds. And, you brought up some good points, Christy. Routines, setting up a schedule for yourself. If you are disciplined enough and if you're able to stick to your schedule, I talk about this all the time, spend 30 minutes every day learning about new items. List 10 items a day. Go out sourcing 3 times a week. If you could set up a schedule to be able to take care of the big 3 things, which is going to be, sourcing, listing, and then fulfilling on your products, which is normally an everyday thing if you have 1-day shipping, that's going to be the key to your success. If you want to make more money as a reseller, you're going to have to source more items, which sourcing items comes from building relationships, learning about different sources, learning about new niches, listing more items, and obviously fulfilling on your promise, whether that's you shipping or hiring somebody to do it. But schedule is everything. And if you can stick to a schedule and be consistent Monday through Friday, then you definitely earn those days off. And you've earned it more for yourself than anybody else, really, because you're consistent. Unfortunately, what most people do is they're multitasking. They work every single day. They put in 6-7 hours a day, not 100% focused. They're multitasking. They've got distractions all over the place. And those 6-7 hours really only equates to 1 to 2 hours of real productive time. So if you can push aside all distractions, whether that's even your animals, your kids. I just got a couple kittens and it's crazy how distracting they are. If I don't close the door on them, I feel horrible. But if you have TV going on, if you have cell phones ringing, I put my phone on do not disturb all the time. If you can, do it. But it's amazing how much more work I get done when I don't have distractions, when I'm not multitasking, when I set my goal on one thing, whether that's sourcing, whether that's listing, or that's fulfilling on my shipments. For me, just a little bit of advice. So she was saying, however, for most of us, reselling is a lifestyle. No matter what, it's not far from our minds. We work every day. That is a great way to burn out and why so many resellers do burn out and quit the business. So maybe you're cutting yourself a little slack once in a while. So, I actually don't recommend working every single day. I haven't talked about this a ton, but I do think it's important to rest. I do think it's important to pace yourself. And I know I have talked about this in the future that I would rather list every single day 5 items instead of burning myself out and going crazy 0 to 100. And a lot of new resellers do this. They go so crazy that they burn themselves out. The thing is, if you've got a burning desire, if you have a big why, if your back's against the wall, then you can definitely do that because you feel that pressure. And I put out, I think it was on that video, a lot of people were saying, I don't care if I'm not in the mood because I got to pay my bills. I feel the pressure. My back's against the wall. I got to make it happen. But there is a thin line between going too hard and not going hard enough and then burning yourself out. So like Christy was saying, it's important to really be able to read your body, understand what your physical limitations are. If you could set up schedules and routines, I completely agree. I think there's just a little bit of confusion based upon what I was saying, maybe, or lack of what I did say. But yeah, you don't want to burn yourself out in this business because at the end of the day, why are we building an eBay business? Why are we building an Amazon business? It's not to make $1 million and get rich in a year. It just doesn't happen. We're trying to build an income stream that's sustainable, that earns money long term. Maybe that's to retire, or maybe you've already retired, and maybe that's just to add on to your job that you already have, right? Or whatever, right? Maybe it's just to make some extra money to invest into real estate or whatnot. Or maybe you want to earn a full-time income. It's all about long-term. eBay and selling on Amazon, unless you're in wholesale or private label where you could sell a business eventually for 7 figures, if you're just flipping stuff from thrift stores and garage sales and auctions and flea markets, if you're not building a company out of it and hiring a team and creating a whole brand around it, like you're probably not going to sell the business. So like most people aren't doing it to get rich. So it is very, very important to set up a routine, set up a schedule for yourself, set up goals. You don't want to burn yourself out. If you feel like, on a physical level, or you're going to have a mental burnout that you have to take a break, 100%, I completely agree. And, one of the things that I've done over the last year and a half is I've been working with a therapist. So a lot of people might think, oh, it's a therapist, like you're crazy, da-da-da-da-da. Your mental health is so important. So knowing when, and that's one of the things that I've worked with my therapist, is knowing when to take a break, knowing when to turn technology off, knowing when to take off and go for a couple-hour hike and get away from everybody and have a journal and relax, or just to disconnect from people, or to spend more time with my loved ones and less time working. So this is huge. Mental health, knowing your physical limitations, I completely agree. So I just want to put this video out there. Let me know what your thoughts are. I think overall we're on the same page, and the biggest thing is long-term success. Who gives a damn how much money you make over the short term? Who gives a damn how many items you list over the next month or so? Are you going to be around in a year or two, or are you going to quit? So with that being said, Christy, thank you so much for the comment. If you guys ever disagree with videos, or you have comments, or there's things that you want to talk about, leave a comment down below. I know freaking YouTube just took away the the dislike ability, which is pretty funny. So if you don't like it, or there's any issues, just leave a comment down below. But with that being said, much love, appreciate you guys, and have a beautiful night. Bye.